Part 2 on the Emerson mini cassette boombox.
Playing the portative organ, an organ that is small enough to be played on the lap.
Start with God. The Bible says God hears our prayers. He hears your prayers. He hears those kind of prayers.
Many people feel encouraged by this result, and that's a reflection on Malaysia's governance and its justice system. And there have been concerted attempts by ordinary Malaysians.
All right, well, what you can hear there is the actual
greater accountability
boombox
done this by
audio
taking to the streets. At least the ruling coalition right now
you guys
does believe in having this accountability.
probably won't believe this,
really
but
stems from the surprise 2018 election result, where
let me
we saw
turn this
Najib
down.
Razak toppled by his former.
This is the coupling cap for the output, runs from the chip over to the speaker, basically. It goes through the switch here on the the record playback switch on the tape deck, goes through that, goes through everything like that, but basically comes out as a speaker. And I started tracing back and got to this, and I was only getting audio on one side. And I thought, and I found out what it was, and I thought, oh, that's a simple fix. It's just a bad cap. So I got this out, took it out of the circuit, put it on my tester. This is a 220 microfarad cap. It tested 227. Now, that's not that bad. I think the ESR was a little high, but again, it did test good. So what I did was stick it back in there and started playing around with it a little bit. Down here you can see where the hole's at. There's a new one in there. I went ahead and put a new one in. But there's the hole. On this side of it, I was just putting it in here and playing around with it a little bit. I kept hearing something over at the speaker every time I would touch it a certain way, and so I got to really moving it around to where I could get it. It started working. I think basically I had a bad solder joint on this connection here, and I think that's all it was. Nothing wrong with the audio output chip, obviously, you can hear.
Paris specifically, because if you think of Paris, you think of a Seine, you think of the Eiffel Tower, you think of a glass of wine, the cafes.
So it's no problem with that. Like I said, I went ahead and put the new one in to make sure it has a new one in there. And I may go through and replace the other ones. I don't know. We'll see. As good as that one was, though, I don't really think there's any need to do it. But like I said, that was the whole problem with it. It seemed like a lot of taking apart and just to find a bad solder joint. If I'd had a schematic, I could have traced this out easily and found that without taking it apart. But, you don't have a schematic, you have to do it the hard way. That's what we did. I wanted to give some props to the BDST. It was instrumental in finding this. I basically started checking with it, and that's how I found out it was not getting on this side of the wherever it is right there. I think it is. I've only got my glasses on, so I think it's that one there. It goes right up to this, and that goes right into the chip. So that's where it comes from, right there, on that pin right there, I think. I know I'm not pointing at it with my correct pointer, but there's the chip that feeds this, and this coupling cap goes over here, and it goes down around here to this one, maybe? Yeah, I think it's this one. And this goes to the switch, traced it through the switch here, goes out to the output right here, and that's the way that works. So everything was working except for that one joint there, and that's really all it was. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Bob and see what he says about this is supposed to be a collaboration, and he was gone today, so didn't get much done on that. And he did send me drawing of how we're going to do the aux port, and maybe I'll ask him if he wants me to show that or what he wants me to do. But we may get to that and then get to some more. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Like I say, Bob's. I'll talk to him either tonight or early tomorrow or something. I'm going to try to get this up by 10 tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I started like kind of late. It's almost 9 o'clock right now. But I had some Lexi problems. I won't say any more right now. It's just Lexi problems is enough. That should describe my a lot of my problems to a T. And so that will do this. Like I said, this is going to be a short one unless Bob decides to chime in and have some a look at what we're gonna do, how we're gonna go about adding an aux jack. Now, the reason we wanted to add the aux jack, that's the easiest way of adding Bluetooth, really. You saw how easy it was on that stereo, that Kenwood. Basically, the cable, the little dongle, and you got Bluetooth. It works the same way with this. It's the same exact thing, but where the interesting part on this is, there's, where do you put the aux port? Generally, they go in on the high side of the volume control, and there's trace is cut there, and that's where your input jack goes, and that, you'll see what I'm talking about. But that's really all you have to do to these, and
enabled cafes to still make a living. Particularly
anyway, I'll leave you with that. There's the speaker over there. You can see it.
Expand the terraces into the street.
Just running on the 4-pin light batteries. Now, as long as I'm not running the tape motor and stuff like that, I think it's probably doesn't drain it that much. It's not really that much of a draw on it, just the radio and the audio. So
you kind of have no choice but to sit outside anyway, I think. But for people,
I was leaning on the connection. I wonder what went off. Anyway, that's going to do me. Like I say, you guys have a pleasant day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.